when I left, the security guard said, "Way to transform this place." And I had 2 more experiences, and I put those stories in the book because people were teasing me and saying, "You should just open an office at the DMV." Because I was assisting people in transforming things. That's me. I'm a transformer and an uplifter. And I've fully accepted that role now, and I'm a laser beam of love. Really, and of self-love. And I'm so happy to be doing that, and I'm so happy to be sharing this message, the message of transformation. And so you'll notice that you all got transformational change sheets at your place. And why don't we I'd like to just take a moment, just a couple of minutes right now, and see who might like to fill out a transformational change sheet. So if you have a pen, or maybe you can borrow one if you don't have one. I'm going to read 2 examples of transformational change sheets that I was given permission to share, and from people in my workshops. Here's a woman who said, "I choose to transform my weight and physical strength. I can't, won't, and haven't because I sometimes get exhausted easily and also use food for comfort. I positively challenge myself to stop drinking soda. I'm resisting my positive challenge because I believe the caffeine and sugar and corn syrups give me energy. I'm willing to change my inherent belief that I deserve to be this fat. I am glad about the micro movements I've made so far, like more yoga. I teach a method called micro movements, and it's in my new book, and it's the way I invented 25 years ago to continue to be able to procrastinate and avoid and do nothing and still make my creative dreams real." So here's one more. "I choose to transform my reactions to emotions and emotional situations. I can't, won't, and haven't because it scares the hell out of me and is incredibly difficult. I positively challenge myself to sit with my emotions, to acknowledge and experience them. I'm resisting my positive challenge because I am afraid of being vulnerable. I'm willing to change my desire to immediately put up a wall. I am glad about this surprising weekend and all the healing and rejuvenation that's taken place. I'm glad that Sark is in my life." So let's take just about 2 minutes right now, and of course feel free to not do it if you don't feel like it, but see if you can, and I'm going to call on a couple of people to share briefly from their sheet. So I'm going to set a little timer. About a minute remaining. All right. And of course you can finish and add to it, and for perfectionists, you can't do this wrong. I'm so happy to tell you that I've graduated to part-time perfectionist, which I didn't think could ever happen. And I'm here to tell you that nobody's noticing. All sorts of things. You know, I imagine there's an imaginary dial. I'm also an overachiever and sometimes an overfunctioner. You know yourselves. If you're being asked to make brownies, you're making the best brownies. Every brownie has a flag. There's little cups. There's little stories that go with each brownie, you know. So overachievers, overfunctioners, high functioners operate at about 9 or 10 on the dial. And so what I've learned is you can dial down to about a 5 or 6 and nobody will notice. And I have all kinds of wonderful examples, and I talk about how to do more things badly and how much fun it is. I'll just share one on the book tour I was on. I had an early morning television show, and I'd had a massage the night before, and my back of my hair was soaked in coconut oil from the massage, and I had to get up so early to do my hair. And I was lying there in bed thinking, why does it matter that the back of my hair is soaked in coconut oil? And I will admit that this was a 4:30 in the morning thought, but I decided to go back to bed and leave it that way. I got to the television show, was greeted by the producer and the host, who hugged me and said, "You smell so good, like the tropics." And I was like, "Thank you." So that was there, like with matted hair in the back. And every time I see that interview, I think, it didn't matter. I had another wonderful hour of sleep. Isn't it funny what we do to ourselves? All right, so who will bravely share, kindly and bravely share their transformational change sheet? Someone with a microphone, I've been told to ensure. Oh, good, thank you.
Hi, I'm Basha Christ, and this is a pivotal moment for me. Okay. I choose to transform my feelings of impatience. The voice once told me God has his own calendar because I'm very impatient for what I want to happen to happen. I won't have it because I want the life I want now. I positively challenge myself to work towards my goal of being a public speaker every day. I'm resisting my positive challenge because I'm afraid of failure. I'm willing to change because I have a message of inspiration and healing. I'm glad about my creativity, good health, and fun nature.
I love that, and now I'm going to invite you up here. Come on up here. Just you and your wonderful self and your hat. Doesn't she look fabulous?
Yes, I do. I love myself.
All right, so I'd like you to say that, and I'd like you to take 30 seconds and say what you want to speak about and why you love whatever you want to say about that subject.
Okay. I do love myself. It's taken me over 60 years to say that. I also was abused as a child, and it's hard for me to talk about that, but I know that all the things I've gone through in my life, have made me who I am today, and I really do know that I have, as you do, a message of inspiration and hope, and I am happy about my good health because it's given me the opportunity to do wonderful things. I gave my kidney to somebody in November, so and people know that, so I'm just, and it was a stranger, so I really feel that that was one of the things I was supposed to do. So, thank you
so much. Let's applaud her. Thank you so much. I love this place. Someone else that wants to share? Good. And we need a microphone for him. Thank you.
I choose to transform my cholesterol, excuse me.
It could be your collateral.
I can't talk about that, okay. Okay, my cholesterol under 200, my weight under 200, improved my sex life overnight, daytime, and evening. I can't wait. Haven't because I ran over a rabbit this morning and he's sitting up in the middle of the street 2 blocks away. It was a Mercedes. I positively challenged myself to finishing what I started. I'm resisting my positive change because don't know any better. I'm willing to change, but Adrian won't let me. I'm glad about being myself because I don't know anyone else. That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Was the rabbit a Mercedes or was the car?
No, this is a true story. The rabbit ran across and I hit him and he jumped up in the air and he flopped. And then evidently he stood back up and he's sitting in the middle of the road because Bill drove around him, right? Who else drove around him? Oh, let's look at here. All these people drove around my rabbit. On the way out to Starbucks.
We all hold your intentions of what you want to transform.
We do?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can reach out for some more support and mentoring because there are people in this room that have transformed their cholesterol.
Did you know I'm a Canadian?
Did I know what?
I'm a Canadian.
That still works.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And I want to give a comment. Oh, thank you. 10. That means that you operate at a 10 on the dial. My cat Jupiter, who died after 17 years, he was my fur husband. And I wrote about him, too, in the Glad No Matter What book, along with the death of my mother and the end of the best love relationship I'd ever had. But anyway, Jupiter, after he died, came into my dream, actually as life-size, and was dancing with me, and I could feel his paw in the small of my back. And he said, you know, animals don't mind dying at all. He said, we just unzip our fur and step out. He said, so you can be sad if you want to, but you don't need to be. And I had been the one sobbing at every animal on the road. I now literally see them step out of their fur. And who told me that's how they live too? You. I said they step out of their fur. She said, that's what I do. Oh my goodness. So does anyone have a question or something they'd like to ask? I love questions. There's never been a question I couldn't answer. Yes. You.
Hi. I'd like to know if you have someone else in your issue that you want to transform, how do you deal with that? So if there's some other behavior on another person's part.
Yes. Well, you'll be so happy to know that it's all you. It really is. And it's not that it's not them and they're not doing that, but it's up to you to transform yourself so that you're really not affected. You know, because anytime we are affected, it's some part of ourselves calling out for healing or change. So the power is all within you. So you do your transformational change work, you do your self-love work, you do your feelings work, and you will be amazed at how that person will seemingly have changed. I did this with my mother, who was an incredibly negative person, especially in the later, she was also a fabulous person. She had both. In her later years, she got kind of worse and worse. And I would know that the phone call was really going to be bad. She'd start out, I could tell by her tone of her voice, and she'd say, well, I went to the neighborhood association meeting. And I'd think, oh, God, you know, because I knew what was coming. And I used to think I was helping her by listening. But guess what? I wasn't. Because she was on a negative track. She was on a repetitive attitude of negativity, which is called RAN. And if we listen to people, it's just torturous. So I learned, someone told me to do this, and I thought, how could this ever work? And they said, just change the subject to something positive. And I thought, that can't work. And the next time she did it, I said, now, Mom, I seem to remember your favorite ice cream was Butterbrickle, but was it vanilla? And she'd say, well, it was Butterbrickle, but no, and she would just be off and running on ice cream. And we'd start laughing and have a wonderful conversation.